It's allergy season and my throat is killing me. So I got to. It's too hot. Hey everybody, it's Andrew here. Today I'm going to discuss about relationships and specifically for those seeking deeper relationships in their lives. It's something I've been thinking about quite recently and I want to give some of my own thoughts on it and what I've been reflecting on the most. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I know it can feel very isolating when you value a deeper relationship and you want it to progress, but person possibly might not want to do the same. And you can feel like that too with people around you in your environment or in your life. I know it can be just draining, just tolerating with surface level relationships, and it comes to a point where you have to be real with yourself and say, am I really going to tolerate with this any longer? How long do I want to keep doing this? Because your heart desires something deeper, and it could still burn very, very intensely in there. But I think when it comes to that point where you can acknowledge that this is not doing it for you, that you can't tolerate with the people that are satisfied with keeping things how they are and not wanting to progress, you have to say to yourself, it's time to not invest in these anymore. And that's something just quite simple, but I know it can be quite challenging because you might not want to be alone, and you might think that these relationships are okay and that they're enough. But are they really enough though? Do you really feel seen? Does it really feel reciprocated in a way that feels like you're energized to go to these people? Can you just be yourself and not feel like being judged? Or because I feel like you can know when you have a deep and a good quality relationship when you're able to be yourself, and I think most importantly be vulnerable. It's something that's very fulfilling to the soul, and but it has to work on both parties though. It can't just be you or the other person doing it, because that can be very draining when you've given up so much of yourself for somebody and they don't reciprocate that, and then you're left wondering, what is this? What where am I in this relationship? How do I feel about this? I feel like that's something I've been tolerating for a while, where me personally, I have had people actually the other way where they've opened up a lot to me, and I feel like I've been able to be seen by them in a way that feels like I genuinely want to be engaging in the relationship. And it's something that I've noticed recently where the relationship might not necessarily be bad and you maybe might be okay with it. I feel like when you grow deeper into who you are as a person and you start accepting more of yourself, you want to start showing more of that side of you more to people. And some people might not want to see that side, or they're okay with the version that you've been before. That's why I said it's very important that you can be yourself with somebody and not feel like you have to filter or blind or put a mask on just in order to keep things how they are and keep it surface level. And I know it can feel very isolating when you see other people have relationships and they might, to me at least, it seems like they don't really value that level of deepness or vulnerability. It just makes me quite just, when I imagine myself trying to do that and I see that observing from other people's lives, and I'm not saying that's just totally that's what it is, but I notice a lot, at least in my environment, where people are quite satisfied with keeping things on the surface and not progressing it. And of course, I don't feel drawn to people like that because I don't feel a desire to invest in that relationship, whatever that, that be, even if it be an acquaintance or a friendship that might not be, it might not be bad, but it's something that I don't really feel gravitated towards. And I think a lot of people can agree on that, that, you know, there's some people that you might feel more drawn to, some you might not. You know, that's just how it is with people, like how we feel with the dynamic of it. And talking about vulnerability again, the lack in it and with somebody that you might know, and sometimes people might not have the courage to do that or the strength, and that could be due to some past experience or trauma. You know, that makes sense. You know, people need to heal, and you know, they should seek help in order to get that on hand. But I think it's important to be aware of that, but also it's mostly important to not tolerate when people can't be vulnerable, because that's very draining, and you know, you don't want to deal with that. Because nothing's more frustrating when you want to open up so much with somebody and then you're just feels like you're talking to a wall. You know, you're in this relationship that's considered like you're supposed to be close and you value closeness, but some people might not. They just don't value that. But also, it's also very important to communicate that, because if you don't communicate that, it's, you know, how are they gonna know? So, you know, it's if someone can be honest with you about that and say like, hey, I don't really open up like that, you know, or I don't really think of things that deeply. But of course, it comes with patience when you meet new people and you build a relationship with them, and it takes time. You can't rush deep connections and instant connections that way. Like, you might get with somebody and might vibe with them really well, but when it comes to really deepening that bond and that connection, it takes time, and you don't want to rush it, and you want to just have things feel natural in a way that you don't have to question if this person is like worth investing in. Because I feel like if you know somebody who's worth investing time into, sure, it's always a risk, of course, but if you know for sure, like in your gut, I think you should just do it, because either way, you know, as long as you have the secureness of yourself and you have a good relationship with yourself, and you can trust and have good inner principles of what you value, and you can have the strength to carry on from maybe some people that might let you down, or maybe something just doesn't work out. You know, that's just how life is. You can't be friends with everybody. You can't be deep with everybody. So it's important to be just aware of that and know that that dynamic is there. It's very challenging when someone might not know who they are, or they don't feel secure in themselves and they seek a deeper relationship, but you have all these things within you that you've yet to see and shine the light on, but you want to share that with somebody else. I think that's something that you do a big favor for yourself and for the people around you who are looking for a deep relationship. You, of course, want to be just the best version of yourself around people. And you also want people to bring out the best version of you. And it's kind of hard to do that when, you know, you're not in the best spot. Don't let disappointment of people in pain and just the isolating feeling of others make you think that people just are okay and with the surface level, because there are people out there that do value something deeper like you. But as I said, it takes time to find those people and to build that. So my advice is to always be patient, always take care of yourself in here, secure yourself, and just be nice to yourself. Because someone out there is going to see you. They're going to wish they met you sooner, because they know people like you are very rare, just like them. But I think that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this video, and if anything that I said makes sense, of course, as always. And let me know if anything that you want me to talk about in my videos. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. My tea's not hot anymore. Oh well.